What if I told you that the strange things happening in the world right now were written down thousands of years ago, long before any of us were born? Not guessed, not imagined, written, preserved, and repeated again and again in the Bible as warnings for the last generation. Many people think the end of the world will come suddenly without signs, but the Bible says the opposite. It says there will be clear signals, patterns, and events that will appear one after another so that those who pay attention will recognize the season. And what makes this even more shocking is that many of those signs look exactly like what we are seeing today. Jesus himself warned that before the end, the world would look normal on the outside but would be filled with hidden fear, confusion, and unrest. People would be buying, selling, building, and living their daily lives, yet at the same time disasters, wars, and strange events would be increasing everywhere. He compared the last days to the days of Noah, when people ignored the warnings until the moment it was too late. The Bible says they were eating, drinking, marrying, and planning their future, not realizing that judgment was already at the door. Another prophecy says that before the end, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. This does not only mean wars, but constant tension between countries, rumors of conflict, and a world that feels unstable even when there is no official war. Many people today feel like the world is always on edge, like something big could happen at any moment. That feeling itself is something the Bible warned about. It says men's hearts will fail them for fear because of the things coming upon the earth. The Bible also said that knowledge would increase in the last days. For thousands of years, human knowledge grew slowly, but in recent times it has exploded faster than ever before. Technology, artificial intelligence, global communication, and the ability to see events happening anywhere in the world instantly were all impossible in ancient times, yet the Bible spoke about a time when knowledge would multiply and the world would become connected in ways never seen before. Many people see this as progress, but the Bible presents it as a sign that history is reaching its final chapter. Another warning written in the scriptures says that in the last days people will become lovers of themselves, lovers of money, proud, disobedient, and without natural affection. This prophecy does not describe one country or one generation, but a global change in human behavior. The Bible says right will be called wrong and wrong will be called right. Things that were once considered shameful would become normal, and those who try to live by truth would be mocked. When you look around today, it becomes hard to ignore how closely this matches what was written long ago. Jesus also spoke about deception as one of the biggest signs before the end. He said many false voices would rise, claiming to know the truth, and many people would follow them. Not everyone who speaks about God will be sent by God, and not everything that looks spiritual will lead to the truth. The Bible says that even miracles and signs could be used to deceive people, and only those who stay close to the Word will be able to recognize what is real. This warning feels more real today than ever before because information spreads faster now than at any time in history, and it has become harder to know what to believe. The scriptures also describe strange events in the sky and in nature before the end. The sun, the moon, and the stars are mentioned as signs that will cause fear among nations. There will be earthquakes in different places, unusual weather, and disasters that seem to come one after another. The Bible does not say these things will happen only once, but that they will increase like birth pains, getting closer together and more intense as the end approaches. Birth pains start slowly, then become stronger and faster until the moment of delivery, and that is exactly the picture the Bible uses to describe the final days of the world. Another prophecy that many people overlook says that before the end, the message of the gospel will reach the whole world. For centuries this seemed impossible because there were places no one could reach and languages could understand. But today, with the internet, television, and global travel, the message can go to every nation faster than ever before. The Bible said this would happen before the end comes, and now for the first time in history, it is actually possible. The Bible also warns that many people will not believe the signs even when they see them. It says some will say everything will continue the same as always, and they will refuse to accept that the world is changing. This is exactly what happened in the days of Noah. The warning was given, the ark was built, but people kept living as if nothing would happen. When the rain finally came, it was too late to prepare. The scriptures say the last days will be like that again, not because there are no signs, but because many will choose to ignore them. One of the most mysterious prophecies speaks about a time when the world will move toward one system, one way of controlling buying and selling, and a level of global influence that affects everyone. For most of history, this sounded impossible, but today people can see how the world is becoming more connected, more controlled by technology, and more dependent on systems that did not exist before. The Bible does not give every detail, but it clearly says the final generation will see changes that no other generation has seen. What makes all of this so powerful is not just that the Bible predicted events, but that it predicted the feeling of the last days. Confusion, fear, division, and the sense that something is about to happen. Many people today feel like the world is moving faster, like time itself is speeding up, and like history is building towards something. The Bible describes that exact atmosphere as if the writers could see our time from far away. The question is not whether the Bible gave signs. The question is whether we are living in the time those signs were talking about. Because if these things are really happening the way the scriptures said they would, then it means the end is not just a story people talk about. It means history is moving toward a moment that cannot be stopped, and every generation that ignored the warnings before paid the price for not paying attention. The Bible never told people to be afraid of the end, but it did tell people to be ready. It says the last days will surprise those who are not watching, but those who know the word will recognize the season. And that is why so many people are starting to look at the world differently now, because things that once sounded impossible suddenly feel real. And if the Bible really said these things would happen before the end, then the biggest question is not when the end will come, but how close we already are.